they would create a leader. And they would anoint him. This is the beginning of the age of the anointed leader. But don't judge Booker too fast now, because Booker ran as many games on them as they ran on him, and got millions for education while doing it, and hated their guts. If you read Up From Slavery, this is not reflected in his book Up From Slavery. It's reflected in his personal letters. Now 10 volumes of his letters have been published. Now whites decided to tap this young man and prepare him for leadership, and they alerted the editors of all the white newspapers to start writing editorials about him and literally deliver him to us as our leader. There was an exhibition in Atlanta, the Atlanta Cotton Exhibition. Booker T. Washington was going to be the keynote speaker. Though he was the keynote speaker, he had to arrive and come through a Jim Crow door and wait in a Jim Crow section until it was his time to speak. And when he started speaking, though we were in the 19th century, when he finished, we were in the 20th century. In the troubles of the 20th century. This evening I've been trying to find the actual speech. I must have at least 6 copies in the house and couldn't find one. Booker T. Washington began his speech. His speech is all things to all people. And if you want to listen to a con game, Booker T. Washington's famous Atlanta speech is one of the most unique con speeches ever made. He's catering to the whites, or the southerner, and he's catering to the northerner. And he have his clincher. He's telling the blacks that it's better to run a truck farm than to do all of this stump political speeches. This pleases the whites. Get us out of politics. See, he's padding both sides. And that it's best, telling the general blacks, it's best to make $1 a day. $1 a day was a pretty good salary for black men in that period. Then to sit next to whites at the opera. He's telling the whites, we don't want social equality. All we want is a job. They like that. Now, Booker began to tell the northerner, build factories in the South. We will not strike like the immigrant craftsmen up north. He called the foreigner who strikes and forms labor unions an ingrate. The North lacks that. He tells the South, be good to us, we're your friends. We'll not only nursed your children, took care of you in days of old. Then his clincher, we even followed you with tear-dripped eyes to your grave. He got the South now. Now he got the South, he got the North, he got part of the black. And he continues the speech. His speech now is an appeal to all of them. And he tells a story about a man at sea, shouting to all the ships that passed, water, water, give me water. And finally a ship shouts out to him, cast down your buckets where you are. that you sailed out of the salty sea. You're now in the Gulf Stream, and there's clear water all around you. Just cast down your buckets and drink the water. Beautiful symbol. Now he's telling both the blacks in the South, the Northerner, invest in the South. Invest some faith, in the South. Then he glances widely over the audience. He had come through the exhibitions and said that the caliber of a race is known by what it displays, and said that we have on display here in this exhibition some quilts and some of our agricultural products, and it shows how far we've come since slavery, and also shows how much we need from you. Now the white money men open up their pockets. Say, if that's all they can do, I better give them a few nickels that they can do a little better than that. Now he tells blacks that if you're going to be a servant, be a good servant and get a good salary. Now what he's saying is practical, and it was high politics for that day. Brilliant politics for the day. Finally, he finishes the speech saying that if all these things are achieved, we shall have a new heaven and a new earth. Couldn't be better than that. Now, amid all these applause, blacks sitting in the balcony, he noticed that some blacks are crying. Some black waving their hands. Oh, no, Book, it ain't that good. Come on, knock it off, bro. And some of them come up to him and start, and some refused to shake his hand. Why this went unnoticed? Black rejection of what he said, because blacks knew it was partly fantasy. He was running a game that couldn't be that good. After Booker T. Washington's speech, many blacks began to vote with their feet, began to leave the South. And when any history of the migration of blacks from the South, it began in earnest after this speech, because blacks suspected that something was going wrong. Now, white editorial writers made Booker T. Washington the leader of black America. They made him the leader of black America, declared that he was, and white philanthropy began to filter all the, not just for Tuskegee, the money that any black got for education had to come through Booker Washington. He was literally the dictator of black America. Now, I'm not so much against dictators if something good is being dictated. And sometime he dictated something good. All right. Booker Washington, this was his era. It is starting now. But what you have to do is to look at what happened not only in black America, but what happened in the totality of the African world in the years between the time he made that speech, 1895 and 1901. Those brief years. 1896, a light-skinned person who could pass for white and who'd been passing most of the time got on a train and got in the white section, sit in the white section. But the conductor, who knew his family,